Hey, what's up guys? Gonna be going through and answering all the amazing questions you guys had for me. And because there's so many, I actually think I might do a two-part video. Just because I don't want to render like an hour of me talking. That last 20-minute Diablo video took me like 16 hours or something ridiculous. So yeah, I'm gonna split it up into two parts most likely. But let's get started. First question, are you satisfied with Diablo 3 in its current state? Short answer to this is I am not satisfied, no. But I guess the other side is I see a lot of potential with the game, and I know that Blizzard will at least try to address the issues of the game. Whether they pull it off, whether it becomes an amazing game, we have yet to see. But you know, in its current state, not happy with it. I know though that it can be much better than the place it's at now. And hopefully with the PvP patch, PvP is really fun. But yeah, have yet to see all that stuff. If you had an unlimited budget, what kind of game would you most like to see made? This is a good question. I'm gonna have to think about this one a lot. Let's see. You know, I think a genre that's not been done right is co-op survival or multiplayer survival. So a game where you're limited on your ammo and, you know, like you're always in danger. A mod that recently came out for Arma 2, if you guys have you know, seen other people do videos on this, it is DayZ. That game has a lot of potential, but it just isn't very good. And, you know, it's obviously still in development, has a lot of issues. But like the concept of a survival game, like a multiplayer survival game, or a multiplayer horror game, like imagine people streaming like Amnesia in co-op. Oh my god, that would be amazing, right? So like, yeah, I think that'd be really fun. Next question, do you agree with the plans Blizzard has for 1.0.3, especially the nerf to Inferno, Act 2, 3, and 4? What nerfs? I don't even know exactly what nerfs you're talking about. If you're talking about like items dropping in Act 1 and 2, like top tier stuff, I think that's a positive thing for the game. If you're talking about like nerfing the actual content, I expect Blizzard to do it right. And I think they know that they don't just want to nerf it into oblivion. I think they're gonna go in and like tune up the Soul Lashers, you know, all these mobs that have terrible AI. That's hard, it makes it so frustrating to fight. Like the Fallen Shaman that run away and shoot projectiles and summon dudes, like, or resurrect, you know, the Fallen. So things like that I'm okay with, as long as they don't like straight up nerf the difficulty. I mean, I even talked on the Diablo cast a little bit about this. I think they could reduce the HP of a lot of mobs because, I don't know, it just feels like stuff doesn't die fast enough. I mean, maybe that's the melee barb, like low DPS side of things, but it just makes it not fun when you're sitting there wailing on something for a million years and there's no real like interesting fight mechanic going on. It's just you tanking and attacking. So and then also, do you like cats? I'm not about to say no, as you probably wouldn't see me after this video ever again. I will say this, I love animals in general. Like, if I had to choose though, I'm totally a dog person. I freaking love dogs. And but cats, you know, they're cool too. I'm not gonna discriminate. If you could change two things in Diablo, what would they be? Only two things, or I guess just two random things, but they'd have to be pretty big things. I would say I really miss the level cap not being there, really. You know, like having like that endless grind to level 99. I actually really enjoy games like that because it just gives you a sense of accomplishment when you reach that. It gives you a sense of connection with your character. Maybe people will laugh at that, but really right now you have zero connection to the character you made. His name doesn't get shown really. It doesn't matter if you go and re-level like the female version of your character and just drop the gear on it. Like there's nothing connecting you to that character. It could be gone tomorrow, replaced by another level 60. Like, I don't know, I feel like there needs to be an attachment there to feel some sense of pride in what you've accomplished in the game. Another thing I would change is probably making the boss fights more mechanic heavy and making all the bosses interesting. I think if we're gonna do the 5 Nephilim Valor stack end game and then kill a boss, the boss fights need to be a little more interesting. I feel like they kind of fall short of where they could be. I think the Belial fight's really cool and impressive looking, like visually it looks really good, but there's just not a whole lot of mechanics or things to dodge or levers to pull, or I don't know. They're just kind of there, you know what I mean? But honestly, I don't know how to really make them more interesting. That's something I'd have to think about. Because at the end of the day, I mean, you just go in there and kill it for loot anyways, so maybe having a ton of mechanics would be kind of annoying. I don't know. But I feel like maybe the bosses could be cooler in some way. Favorite class and why? Barbarian. Enough said. No, I just really like melee in video games, like in any MMO and any RPG. Really, I gravitate towards melee with bulky, metally, badass armor. So I typically play a male if it's like, a melee type class or, something that has heavy armor on it, because it always looks better than the female counterpart in my opinion. But if it's like a range class, I usually gravitate towards female. But yeah, Barbarian for sure. I just really love how powerful they feel compared to like the Monk. Specifically, the Monk's more agile, more fast paced type of, twitch reaction maybe, I guess you could say. But the Barb's just like raw strength, raw power. I really enjoy that. Do you use Photoshop for your graphics? If so, how good at it are you? Yes, I use Photoshop. I would say out of all the Adobe products, I'm the most comfortable using Photoshop, and I've probably logged the most hours in Photoshop than anything else. Yeah, I just really like Photoshop and like really got into it, learned like web design, photo retouching, what else? Like I learned a ton of stuff to do with Photoshop. So I wouldn't say I'm like super amazing, can do anything at it, but I have a very good grasp on, just like the limits that you can do with Photoshop. I wish I was better at, if I could say I wish I was better at one thing in Photoshop, it would be digital painting. Because for a while I got involved in that, but it just never clicked for me. Obviously I just need to spend more time at it. I did a lot of drawing as a kid, but I never I never took drawing classes serious or anything. Yeah, I would say if I could be better at one thing in Photoshop, it's digital painting. Do you like Batman? He's probably my favorite superhero, honestly. Other than that little girl in the movie Kick-Ass, if you can count her as a superhero, Batman's like up there for sure. Batman Begins, one of my favorite movies, one of my favorite superhero movies. I love Christian Bale. It's not my favorite Christian Bale movie. I would say Prestige is, but yeah, I like Batman. Why don't you stream? I got a lot of questions kind of revolving around streaming. Really, it comes down to what I'm capable of and just like what I want to do with the content I produce, how I want to produce it. Like, streaming just doesn't fit currently into not only my lifestyle, but just like my terrible computer. It would make streaming kind of hard. Like, people don't want to watch someone play games on just laggy junk that takes forever to load, crashes all the time. So that's one thing holding me back. The other is, if you stream, you have to stream like 12 hours a day, like at least 5 hours every day. People expect that out of you. If you're a streamer, you're gonna be streaming every day at set hours. You know, that's how you get popular. That's how people find you. And if I streamed, it would just really cut back on doing more edited stuff, putting together commentaries. Like, it would really cut down on, I guess, my workflow or something. But I think someday in the future, I might get into streaming or just, you know, dip my toes into it, because I think there's a lot of good stuff you can do streaming also. I would like to stream a few hours every now and then at least, but maybe in a distant future, to be honest. Can I have your baby? Yes, if I don't have to pay child support. Did you attend college, and if so, what did you major in? I went to the Art Institute of Portland for 3 months before dropping out. I went there for game art and design, and I dropped out. One, I wasn't doing very good, just like wasn't dedicated to my work. I was playing a lot of Lineage 2 at the time, and just wasn't focused enough. Also, I had to commute there 2 hours a day. I had to take the bus 1 hour there, 1 hour back. That was a hassle. And also, I got into, I guess you could say, a dispute with one of my teachers. Dispute's probably a bad word. That makes it sound like, I don't know, I got in like a fist fight with him or something, but it came down to me doing poorly on something, and him saying, you know, he's got my back, he's gonna pass me, and he ended up totally just going back on that and failing me out of a class. So yeah, at that point I was like, it's not worth it to keep going here. It's super expensive as well. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. It was like 60 grand or something at the time, which, I don't know, some people might not think that's very much for a college education, but it's pretty ridiculous. Can we, fellow subscribers, get to play Diablo 3 with you later? This is something I've thought about on and off. Like, it would be awesome for me to play with you guys, but at the same time, it would take up so much of my time trying to play with everyone, and also at the same time, it's like, what do you do in the game? Like, do you just like farm together? Like, you would have to be level 60 with really nice gear to do like the farming in Act 3. So I don't really know what we would do. Like, anyways, it's kind of something that's just people keep bringing up, and I would love to do it, but I just don't see an easy way to do it for everyone to get enjoy. Like, it's one of those things where it'd be awesome if I was streaming to play with people, or maybe when PvP comes out. So you know, in the future, maybe if I start streaming, that'd be something I'd be interested in. Do you have any plans of playing Dota 2? Have you played it? If so, what did you think? What is your opinion on the MOBA genre? You know, at first, I wasn't really into the MOBA genre. You know, with Dota, like the first Dota, I played that with friends because they were into it, and I just couldn't wrap my head around it at the time. It was just like this wall of all this shit you had to learn, and I just didn't even want to bother. It didn't like grab me for some reason. But then I started getting into Han. Well, I shouldn't say I started getting into it. I played Han for like a week, right? And then like I found out all my friends are playing League of Legends, so I was trying to get them to come play Han, but they just didn't really like it. And so we all started playing League of Legends, and I actually really enjoyed that. Started learning a lot about the MOBA genre. You know, really fell in love with the game. I know there's a lot of League haters who think Dota 2 is the best game ever, and like League is for kids or something. And that's cool, but I don't know, I just really loved League, and I still watch it, you know, watch esports every now and then. But you know, recently I also got into the Dota 2 beta. Again, I don't know what it is about Dota that just is like this learning curve wall that I don't even want to like tackle. It just feels, the game feels so foreign, and like the controls feel so bad to me. I don't know what it is. I would love to enjoy the game. Like, I think there's a lot of fun to be had in the game, but yeah, I don't know, it just never clicked with me. Another game though, actually, in the MOBA genre that I'm interested in is Smite. Like, I don't think it's gonna be super incredible, but I don't know, I want to check that game out because it's like a third-person MOBA type game, and I think it could be pretty fun, so kind of looking forward to that. Will you continue to do the Diablo cast with Force and Jesse? If yes, when will you guys do it again? So This was asked before we did it, but if you guys haven't checked it out, we did another Diablo cast recently on Friday. So if you haven't checked it out, you can go watch that if you want while you're grinding, farming mobs, whatever. I was one of those who swore to never playing hardcore when I first started D3. However, I tried it after getting stuck at Act 3, and I'm enjoying it to the point where I'm probably never going to go softcore again. So, do you have any intentions of playing / trying out hardcore? Why not? So I really like the concept of hardcore, and I think the only way to play hardcore is to play it with people who are also into hardcore. Right now, none of my friends are interested in it. So that's one of the main reasons I haven't been playing it. On the other side, I feel like, I've been watching a lot of streamers, Kungan, Crippy, anyone doing hardcore I've been, checking out every now and then. And I've seen some really just BS moments where it would frustrate me to no end. Things like DCing, bugs, mobs killing you and not even being close to you. There's a lot wrong with D3 right now that, once they fix those things, once the connection gets a little more stable, the game's been out a little longer, I think I'll gravitate towards playing hardcore. But right now I just want to focus on, learning all the classes in softcore, trying to farm some loot, maybe make some money on the auction house. As of now, it's looking like I'm going to play softcore a bit longer. But maybe in the future, I'll come back to it if any of my friends check it out. Do you miss the L2 drama in nowadays games? I sure do, good old times. So, L2 being Lineage 2, if you guys don't know, it was a MMO, and I probably, out of all the games I've ever played, I put the most time into Lineage 2. I actually miss that style of game more than anything. I love open PvP. I love risk and reward when it comes to like fighting people, like dropping gear or losing XP, or just having like a risk reward PvP system is so vital for MMOs for me. No MMO is doing that anymore. So that's probably the biggest thing I miss about L2 is just the gameplay. And I actually really enjoy endless grind. Like it's kind of mindless and interesting to me to put in time into a game and then to see results and not just have everybody get to 60 and then the game starts at level 60. I don't really like that method of games, but it's kind of what the whole like gaming scene's gravitating towards. So I guess that's the biggest thing I miss from L2. The drama, not so much. I'm sure any MMO has drama, or like whatever first MMO you played, you really enjoyed the community. And that was another cool thing about Lineage, was getting to know like people in your community that you're playing with all day, every day. Like that's really cool. And you kind of lose that also with nowadays games where you're just hopping into instances with random people to clear content. You don't get to interact with the enemy. Like you can't even talk to people on the other faction. Like I just found that stuff really bad. Is Diablo 3 what you wanted it to be? Pretty much answered that. That was like the first question. Will you show your face in your video? One day, yeah, for sure. But I don't have a camera and I don't think it's important right now. I'm just gonna let the hype build so you guys become insanely disappointed when you see my mug. It's pretty much my goal. Do you plan on doing videos later on for games like Torchlight 2, Path of Exile, or Diablo 2? I think those three games, I've already played enough Diablo 2. I don't see going back to Diablo 2. Maybe one day, but as of now, I don't see it. Path of Exile, I actually got into that beta and never checked it out because, I don't know, for a while I wanted to play it, but then they just never gave me a beta invite, and then it just kind of faded. Plus, I got into the Diablo 3 beta at that time, so I was like, screw this. Torchlight 2, though, I'll definitely check out. I don't know if I'll be doing video content on it. I might just do like a first impressions video. I've done that in the past with other games. So yeah, Torchlight 2 is a definite possibility. I think that game has some potential, but I don't see it being like a long-term game like Diablo 3 will be. So it'll probably just be like a brief series of videos or one video. I don't know yet. 20 minutes or something. Actually, I don't know how long it's gonna be. Probably 10 minutes. I don't know. There's a lot of unknowns when it comes to PvP.